Welcome back, beautiful soul. If you've found your way here today, trust that this message is meant for you. I'm seeing such powerful energy around this reading. There's someone specific on your mind, isn't there? Someone whose energy you've been feeling shift, even if you can't quite put your finger on why. The title of today's reading pulled you in for a reason. Your person has noticed the change in your energy. The way you've been prioritizing self-love. And let me tell you something right now, before we even pull a single card, they've noticed. Oh, they've noticed. The universe doesn't let transformation like yours happen in silence. What I'm seeing in this spread is nothing short of miraculous. We're moving through 8 distinct energetic phases, and they tell a complete story. From the subtle signals the universe is sending you right now, all the way to a future vision so beautiful it might bring tears to your eyes. This isn't just about romance. This is about two people finally ready to meet each other as their truest selves. So take a deep breath with me. Pause, ground yourself. And know that whatever you're meant to hear will find its way to your heart today. This reading is timeless. Whenever you find it, trust that the timing is divine. For extended readings and to support my work you can join Patreon, link is in description. Let's begin. Energy around you is shifting now. Something beautiful is coming soon. Oh, I love this as your opening card. This is the universe tapping you on the shoulder, whispering, pay attention. You've been feeling it, haven't you? That restless sense that something is different, that the air around you holds a different charge than it did even a few weeks ago. The signal card represents those subtle synchronicities that have been increasing lately. Maybe you've been seeing repeating numbers, 1111, 222, 555. Maybe you've been hearing your song in unexpected places. Maybe their name keeps appearing, or you've been dreaming of them more vividly. These aren't coincidences, beloved. These are breadcrumbs leading you toward what's manifesting. But here's what makes this card so potent in position 1, the signal isn't just for you. Yes, you're receiving divine confirmation that your manifestation is taking form. But simultaneously, your person is getting their own signals. They're feeling pulled toward you in ways they can't logically explain. They might find themselves thinking of you at the most random moments, when they're driving, when they're trying to fall asleep, when they're standing in the grocery store staring at oranges because you once mentioned you loved fresh squeezed orange juice. Warm chuckle. The energy around you both is shifting because you've shifted. And energy doesn't shift in isolation. When one person in a soul connection elevates their frequency, the other feels it. It's like you've been playing a radio station quietly in the background, and suddenly you turned up the volume. They can't help but hear it now. Something beautiful is coming soon. I want you to really absorb that promise. The universe doesn't tease us with signals without following through. The question isn't if, it's are you ready to receive it? Because what's coming requires you to believe you deserve it. And that's exactly what your self-love journey has been preparing you for. Next, the reckoning. Facing hard truths about the past. Real growth begins with honesty. Now, before you tense up, because reckoning sounds intense, understand that this card is actually a gift. It's the universe saying, we're not going to build this new chapter on a cracked foundation. Both you and your person are being called to look at what came before with clear eyes. For you, this might mean acknowledging where you abandoned yourself in past connections. Where you made yourself smaller to be more lovable. Where you accepted breadcrumbs because you didn't believe you deserved the whole feast. The reckoning asks, can you be honest about your patterns without shame? Can you see how your fear of abandonment led you to abandon yourself first? But your person, they're in their own reckoning too. And this is crucial for you to understand, especially if they've been distant or avoidant. They're facing hard truths about how they've shown up. Maybe they're finally seeing how their fear of vulnerability cost them the connection they actually wanted most. Maybe they're recognizing that they pushed away the one person who saw them truly because being seen felt terrifying. Real growth begins with honesty. This is why your energy shift has been so magnetic. You're not the same person who accepted less than they deserved. You're not performing perfection or playing it cool or waiting by the phone. You're living your life, and that authenticity is forcing them to get honest about what they want. The reckoning isn't punishment. It's preparation. It's the universe making sure that when you come back together, because that's where this is heading, you're both bringing your whole selves, not your defensive selves. Not your scared selves. Your honest, grown, ready selves. Some of you needed to hear that. That the silence, the separation, the confusion, it was serving a purpose. It was giving you both space to do this necessary work. And now we arrive at hand in hand. New chapter written together finally. Fear no longer separates you. Oh, this card makes my heart sing. After the reckoning comes the reunion, but not the old reunion. Not the cycle of coming together and pulling apart. This is different. This is two people who've done their individual work finally ready to do the together work. Hand in hand represents partnership in its truest form. Side by side. Equals. No one chasing, no one running. No one holding back to maintain the upper hand. The fear that kept you separated, that fear is losing its grip. Maybe for you, it was the fear of being too much or not enough. Maybe for them, it was the fear of losing freedom or getting hurt. Whatever the specific flavor, you're both realizing that the fear of not being together is actually scarier than any risk love requires. New chapter written together finally. I want you to notice that word, finally. This suggests that on some level, you've both known this connection was significant from the start. There was never a question of if you were meant to cross paths. The question was always about timing and readiness. And finally, you're arriving at the same place at the same time. What does this look like practically? Communication that flows. Vulnerability that feels safe. Physical touch that heals rather than just excites. Decisions made with we in mind instead of just me. This is the card of building something that lasts, brick by brick, choice by choice. Fear no longer separates you. Read that again. It's not that fear disappears entirely, it's that you stop letting it make your decisions for you. You choose each other anyway. You choose love anyway. And in that choosing, you discover that the thing you were most afraid of was actually your greatest freedom. Next, your power. You are done waiting to be chosen. Choosing yourself comes first now. This, beloved. This is the card that explains everything. This is why your person has noticed the change in your energy. This is the shift that changed everything. You stopped waiting. You stopped orbiting around their availability. You stopped structuring your life around when they might call, whether they might commit, if they could finally see your worth. You turned all that energy back toward yourself. And honey, it shows. Your power is the card of radical self-prioritization. It's the moment you realize that your peace is non-negotiable. That your joy doesn't require anyone's permission. That your value isn't determined by who chooses you, you determine it by how you choose yourself. And here's the cosmic joke, the beautiful paradox, the moment you truly stop needing their validation is the moment they desperately want to give it. The moment you become your own primary source of love is the moment they realize they want to be your secondary source. The moment you walk away from the table where you were being served crumbs is the moment they realize they want to prepare a feast. You are done waiting to be chosen. This doesn't mean you don't want them. It means you want yourself more. It means your standards have become your boundary lines, and you're not crossing them for anyone, not even for the person your heart loves. Because you've learned, the hard way, probably, that you can't love someone into loving you correctly. You can only love yourself enough to require correct love. Choosing yourself comes first now. And this is why they're paying attention. They sense that you're not playing games anymore. You're not trying to win them. You're trying to win at life, and if they want to be part of that winning, they need to step up. The dynamic has fundamentally shifted. You're no longer the one holding on tighter. And that scares them in the best possible way. It scares them into clarity, into action, into finally seeing what they stand to lose. And now, the mask falls. Done pretending they do not care. They care more than shown. Soft, knowing laugh. Oh, this card. If you've been feeling like your person has been holding back, like there's more in their heart than they've been expressing, like they wear a mask of indifference or casualness, this card confirms everything you've sensed. The mask falls represents revelation. The end of pretense. The moment someone can no longer maintain the facade they've built to protect themselves. And for your person, that facade has been, I don't care that much. Maybe they've acted unbothered. Maybe they've kept things surface level. Maybe they've dated other people or pulled away or sent mixed signals that left you dizzy. But the mask is falling. They can't keep it up anymore. Why? Because your energy shift, your power, your self-love, your unwillingness to wait, has created a vacuum. They feel you slipping away not because you're leaving, but because you're no longer clinging. And that space is terrifying to someone who secretly cares deeply. Done pretending they do not care. This might look like them finally texting you something real. Finally admitting they've been thinking about you. Finally dropping the bravado and saying, I miss you, or I was wrong, or I can't stop thinking about what we could be. It might be tears. It might be a grand gesture. It might be a quiet, vulnerable conversation where they finally let you see what they've been hiding. They care more than shown. And honestly, they probably care more than they themselves realized. Sometimes we don't know how deep a feeling goes until we're faced with losing it. Your transformation has held up a mirror, and they're seeing their true reflection for the first time. They're seeing that all their attempts to be cool, to be guarded, to be in control, they were just fear wearing different costumes. The mask falls when love becomes more important than pride. And we're reaching that tipping point. Next, impenetrable no more. Their rigidity is finally softening. Grace is replacing stubbornness now. This card speaks directly to anyone who's been dealing with someone stubborn. Someone who had walls so thick you thought you'd never break through. Someone who seemed immovable, unchangeable, stuck in their ways or their fear or their commitment issues. Impenetrable no more is the card of walls coming down. Of frozen hearts thawing. Of the person who said, I don't know what I want, or I'm not ready, or I need space, finally realizing that what they want is you, that they've been ready all along, that space without you feels like exile, not freedom. Their rigidity is finally softening. Where they once dug in their heels, they're now willing to bend. Where they once needed to be right, they're now willing to understand. Where they once protected their independence at all costs, they're now imagining interdependence and finding it doesn't scare them like it used to. Why the change? Because grace is replacing stubbornness. They've been touched by grace, the grace you've shown them by loving them anyway, by waiting without demanding, by changing without forcing them to change. Your self-love journey hasn't been aggressive or punitive. You've simply become softer, more radiant, more at peace. And that grace has been contagious. They're learning that strength doesn't require rigidity. That they can be vulnerable and still be safe. That they can want you and still be free. The walls that felt like protection were actually prison bars, and they're finally ready to step out into the light of real connection. This softening is beautiful to witness, but it's also fragile. They need to know that when they lower their guard, you won't attack. That when they show you their tender heart, you'll handle it with care. Your self-love has made you trustworthy in this way, because you're not coming from desperation anymore. You're coming from wholeness. And now we arrive at second chances. Growth after mistakes is what matters. Consider what grace makes possible. This is the card of redemption. Of the phoenix rising. Of the belief that our past doesn't have to define our future, that who we were yesterday doesn't have to be who we are tomorrow. And this applies to both of you. For you, second chances might mean forgiving yourself for the ways you abandoned yourself in this connection. For the times you chased when you should have stood still. For the times you accepted less because you didn't know better. You're being invited to give yourself grace for your learning curve. For your person, second chances mean something equally profound. They're being given the opportunity to show up differently. To prove that the reckoning we saw earlier wasn't just intellectual, it was transformational. They get to demonstrate through consistent action that they've grown, that they've learned, that they're ready to be who you needed them to be all along. Growth after mistakes is what matters. This is crucial. This reading isn't asking you to forget the past or pretend the hurt didn't happen. It's asking you to look at the present and see, is there evidence of growth? Has this person done the work? Are they showing up in ways that feel sustainable, not just apologetic? Are you showing up in ways that feel empowered, not just hopeful? Consider what grace makes possible. Grace isn't naivety. It's not ignoring red flags or lowering standards. It's the recognition that humans are imperfect, that we all have blind spots, that love requires the risk of forgiveness. Grace says, I see your growth, and I'm willing to meet you in this new place. Some of you are being asked to consider whether you're willing to give this connection a second chance, not because you need it to survive, but because your soul recognizes that the story isn't over yet. And both of you are finally ready to write a better chapter. And finally, beloved, the future vision. Married, settled, and at peace together. This is what they want. After everything, the signals, the reckoning, the coming together, the power, the unmasking, the softening, the second chances, we arrive here. At the truth that's been waiting at the end of this journey. Your person wants what you want. They're envisioning the same future you've been afraid to hope for. Married, settled, and at peace together. This isn't just about a wedding ring, though for many of you that is part of it. It's about the energy of commitment. Of choosing each other every day. Of building a life that feels like sanctuary. Of being settled, not in the sense of being stuck, but in the sense of being home. Finally home. And at peace. Oh, this matters so much. The peace that comes when two people stop playing games. When the push-pull ends. When anxiety is replaced by security. When you can rest in the knowledge that you're chosen, fully, completely, without reservation. This is what they want. Let that heal any part of you that still doubts. Any part that wonders if you're more invested than they are. Any part that fears you'll always want more than they can give. The Future Vision card reveals their true desire, and it's aligned with yours. They want the peace that only comes from true partnership. They want the settling that only happens when souls find their match. They want you. Your self-love journey didn't push them away. It called them forward. It showed them what was possible. It made them want to be the person who deserves the you that you've become. And now, finally, you're both ready to walk toward that vision together. Beloved, what a journey this spread has taken us on. From the first subtle signals to the final vision of committed peace, you've been shown the entire arc of this connection. And the through line, the golden thread, is your transformation. The way you prioritized yourself. The way you reclaimed your power. The way you loved yourself first. Your person noticed. They always do. And now they're moving toward you from a place of authenticity, ready to meet you where you are. Take what resonates. Leave what doesn't. Trust your intuition above all else. And know that whether this manifests exactly as shown or in ways the cards couldn't capture, you are on the right path. Your self-love has already made you victorious. I'm sending you so much love and light. Until next time, keep choosing yourself. The universe always notices.